Hey guys, Red Hammer here. I recently went down the rabbit hole of 3DS custom firmware. The reason I did this was because I wanted to stream from the 3DS, and the only way to do that is to install custom firmware. Well, maybe not the only way. You can go the hardware way if you want, but if you want to use software, then custom firmware is the way to go. Installing the firmware was not an issue. I also got the software part up and running for the actual streaming. What was an issue, however, was the frame rate. I was getting frame rates in like 10 to 20 FPS, and that just won't do. So I did a little searching and found out that I was apparently not alone. A lot of you guys were getting similar experiences, and no one could apparently seem to come up with any explanation for it. However, I think I've found the solution, and it's quite simple. Anyway, if you haven't installed firmware on your 3DS, you're going to want to do that first. This guide here, which I'm going to link to, is a great one. Goes into great detail on how to do it, and it has a step-by-step guide. You really can't go wrong if you go with this one. After you've done installing, go over to a YouTube video by sthetix, I guess, which shows you how to install NTR CFW, and that is what you're going to need to stream over. And this guide is a lot simpler than many out there because you do this all from the 3DS using FBI. You don't need to load anything manually in. Just follow the first part of this guide, and you're good. He uses, after the guide, he uses KitKat for the actual streaming. I would recommend you'd rather use Snickerstream, and I'm going to show you that. So you just use the first part of the video for the actual installation of NTR CFW, and then check here for Snickerstream. I'll, of course, post these links as well. Once you've started up the NTR CFW selector and gone through that process on your 3DS, you're going to want to start up Snickerstream. Looks like this when you start it up. You need to enter the IP address of your 3DS here. If you remember from the video, he showed you there where you can find the IP address, and right underneath there is also the port number that it communicates on, and that is important. Usually port 5000. So keep that in mind for next step. Also, another port you're going to want to note is the listening port of Snickerstream under the advanced settings, 8001 in this case. It seems that is the standard port. So enter the IP address and then select which screen you want to prioritize. Top screen, bottom screen, top screen usually. Then you can play around a bit with these. I'm just going to leave it at balanced for now. But they could very well affect your frame rate. You could set it to best frame rate, for example. I'm just going to set it to balanced for now. And then the screen layout, default is a vertical layout, both top and bottom screen. And you can do it horizontally, or you can do top screen only, bottom screen only, or separate windows. Up to you. Try what suits you the best. Once you've done with this, just click connect, and then there we go. As you can see right now, the FPS isn't horrible, but I get these drops and this down to 10 FPS maybe. Let's see if we can just wait a little bit. Maybe it drops down. It doesn't really want to do it right now. There we go. Oh, 16. There we go. 15. 11. Yeah. As you can see, we get these horrible drops. And that just won't do. So, what do we do to fix this? Well, the solution is quite simple. You just have to add the ports I talked to in your router on port forwarding. So that's what we're going to look at next. So what you want to do is open the control panel of your router. It varies a bit from router to router how you do this, but usually it's an IP address you just type into your browser. And then you head over to advanced settings and look for either virtual servers like it is here or port forwarding. Those are the same basically. As you can see, I've already added these two. They're just disabled right now. And then you need to add one for your 3DS at port 5000. This is the IP address of the 3DS, and then open that port on both TCP and UDP. Same deal for Snickerstream, but here it's port 8001, and then the IP address is, of course, the IP of your computer, not the DS. Also TCP and UDP. So add both of those and then reboot your router. After your router has rebooted, you're going to want to reboot your 3DS as well. Once it's started up again, make sure to restart the NTR CFW selector. Go through that process again. So just go ahead and do that, and then start up Snickerstream again. I've already loaded into a game here, and it is a lot better. It is a lot better. Now it seems to be holding its own. I do get the occasional drop under 30 FPS, but it's not a big issue. It is certainly a lot better. However, what you will notice is that as long as you are on the home screen, it seems to be normal for frame rates to be lower on the home screen. It probably has to do with the CPU going into power saving mode. That is not the issue when you're in a game. As you can see, it's running quite smoothly now. This was not the case earlier when I tried this before. I had frame rates of 20 or below. Unplayable, basically. Anyway, that's it. I hope this little guide helped you out. If it did, click the like button and subscribe if you want more.